Hi guys, welcome. So today we're doing a stretching routine. This is great for dancers, but you don't have to be a dancer to appreciate it. And all you're gonna need is a band, or you can use like a t-shirt or something. It's just something that you can wrap like around your foot or your leg to give yourself a little bit more reach towards your feet. So have that handy, and we'll go ahead and get started. So you're just going to start by circling the hip as much as you can, cross the foot behind you, and you're gonna come into a curtsy lunge. Charlie, no. No, darling. Circle that leg, and then come back to the lunge. Circle, cross it behind you, lunge. Big circle of the hip, cross it behind you for the lunge. As you go, you can make the circles bigger if you want to. Just warming up the hips. We're going to do one last one right here. Now I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. We're going to come forward. If you need to, you can bend your knees as much as you like, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're just going to walk out to a downward dog. And you're going to lift your right leg and lower it back down. Lift your left leg, lower it back down. Make sure your feet are parallel here. So your hips should be staying facing the floor for this portion. If you want to point your toes, you can. If you want to flex your foot, whatever you can. I personally don't really like the way that feels, but whatever is nice for you. Try and keep your back as flat as possible. Your knees can be bent here if you need. If you need to have this bent to keep your back flat, then that's where you should be. Just a couple more repetitions like this. Now you're gonna lift your leg we're adding on. Keep your shoulders square, but you're gonna let your hips open, bend, and then come back over. Square the hips, bring the leg back down. So shoulders stay where they are, they shouldn't move. Leg comes up, you can open and bend the knee, and readjust. Come back down. Back is staying flat this whole time. Open the hip, bend the knee, and back to center. And lower. Left leg lifts. Open the hip, bend the knee, back to center, and lower. Lift the leg, open the hip and bend the knee, back to center, and lower. Now we're just gonna roll through your spine forward to a plank. So you'll start at your low back, you're gonna curl, 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 come forward and open up into a plank. Then you're going straight back. Try and curl that low back. Roll yourself forward and straight back. Curl your low back. Coming forward and back. Curl your tail under. And back. Now you're just going to bend one knee and the other, pedal it out. One. You can do a little peek under your armpit if you want to. Now we're gonna take the left leg up and back and bring it forward. Find yourself in a little lunge. You can put the back knee down. We're gonna come to 90 degrees. So 90 degrees to your front leg, and your back knee should be right underneath of your hip. So not a huge lunge. We're gonna lift the right arm up and over. You should feel a nice stretch in the front of your hip here. If you don't feel it, you can try and tuck your tail a little more. So if you're sitting too much back here, you won't feel it as much. Try and tuck your tail. So from here, we're gonna do a little bit of dynamic stretching with this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sweep your arm down to the floor. Try and straighten your front leg. Re-bend. Lift up. Down. Straighten the front leg as much as is comfortable. If you can't come to a full straight leg here, that's fine. Coming up one last time on this side. And stretch it. Put both your hands down and come back. We're gonna do the other side. Reach the right up. Coming forward. Nice small lunge. Again, tuck so you feel more in that front leg. And reach up. Hold it here for a little bit. Nice big deep breaths. And we're going to take it into the dynamic stretch. So taking the hand down. I like to have my other hand here so I can make sure I know where my front hip is. Hello. Stretch it back. Coming up. I got distracted by my cat, so I think we have one more. We'll do one last one here. And coming back. And frame your foot with your hands. Coming back in. Down, down. Now you're gonna walk your hands and feet in together. We're gonna swivel to the front. And we're gonna come into a wide second. Parallel feet facing the front. Forward fold. If you need to bend your knees, that's totally fine. Let your head drop. If it's comfortable, you straighten your legs as much as you can. And give it a little rock side to side if you want to. Now you're going to come up as high as you need to have a flat back. And we're going to bend one knee, stretch, and the other. Knees should be tracking straight over your toes. This can be a very little bend, doesn't have to be intense. Just as much as you need to feel a stretch along your inner thigh. Two more. Now, this next one, you're gonna bend into that other knee, come down as far as comfortable. If you can, you're gonna rotate your legs to that turned out position. So if you can come all the way down here, that's great. If you're still here, that's great too. What we're gonna do from here, you're going to swivel, come to your lunge. And then we're gonna come back to wherever that position was. We're gonna do 4 of these on each side. So make sure that when you come to this front position, if you're going any deeper than this in your side lunge, your knee is turning to face the roof. And that was 4, so we're coming over to our other side. So start here in this parallel side lunge. If it feels like this really isn't enough for you, you can come down further. But make sure that that knee ends up facing the ceiling. And your knee is tracking over your toes here. And we're gonna come to that lunge. So everything's parallel here, no matter what. And then we're turning to the front. You can either come to this parallel lunge or come all the way down. Either one is fine. Doing 3 more here. Notice I'm putting my hands on my hips here. That's to make sure both of my hips are squaring towards the side. And last one, coming down to the side. And we're just gonna release over the legs in that parallel second again. You can nod your head yes, no. You're gonna bend your knees, roll up. Just walk your feet in and shake it up, legs. And we are gonna come down to the floor. So you're gonna start with both of your legs out in front of you. We're keeping a flat back. Anywhere on your legs that you can reach is good. So if you can just reach here and fold forward, keeping your back flat, that's fine. You can reach your shins, that's great. You can reach your feet, that's great. If you want, here you can use your strap, wrap it around your feet so that you can keep that flat back. If you can, we're reaching as far as you want to. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna swim one arm and over, and you're gonna cross it to the opposite foot. Reach it up and over, and cross it. If you're using your strap, reaching up and over, grabbing the strap with the other foot. The other foot, not the other foot, the other hand. Sorry, mixing up your body parts. And really try and twist and open. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone, but my body is like snap, crackle, popping all over. So again, if you're reaching all the way to the foot, keeping the back flat, but reach opposite hand to opposite foot. And stop here. If you have the strap, you're gonna try and walk your hands further down the strap. You're gonna breathe in with that flat back. And then when you breathe out, just fold over, release everything. Get rid of the strap if you have it. Let your feet relax and let your head relax. Just stay here for 1 second. And then rolling up. You're gonna take your left leg. You're gonna cross it over. So what we're gonna do, you'll start with your knees stacked on top of each other if you can. If you can't stack the knees, here is perfectly fine. You're still gonna feel the stretch in the IT band. Nice and active with that other foot. So you're either here or here. We're gonna do a little twist and fold over the other side. And twist and fold. Keeping both of your sit bones on the ground. You don't want to rock up. We're going to do 2 more on this side. Last one here. And just swap out for the other leg. So again, you can be here, or you can try and scooch your foot closer to your left hip and stack the knees on top of each other. We're gonna twist and folding over. Twist, folding over. 3, 5, 6, 2 more. Last one here. And bringing both legs to the front. Shake it out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to a cross-legged seat. So you're gonna have one of your legs in front of the other, trying to get the knees down as far as possible. You're gonna do a little rock back, press into the hands, do a little bit of a tricep push-up, and then you're gonna reach, fold over, come back up. This time when you rock back, you're gonna change which leg is in front. Just a couple rocks like this. Now for me, this is a lot because I don't have very flexible hips. If you want to bring one leg on top of the other instead of the front, that's okay, but my body just doesn't really do that. Just a few more here. One more on each side, switching which leg is in front. Very good. Now we're just going to slide the legs out into a straddle. And we're going to be reaching side to side. So just start reaching as far as you can to either toe. Now we're reaching all the way up and over. Make sure that your chest is open to the sky. We're not coming here. So if you're up here and that's as far as you go, that's fine. Just going as far down as you can keep your chest open. And back up, back to the taps. Keeping both of your sit bones on the floor. Don't rock from one to the other. Here we go for the big reach, other side. Nice big deep breath. Now we're going to do a little twist. And twist and fold. So this time our chest is going straight to our legs. Again, you're trying to keep a flat back. So only going as far as you can. If you need your strap, you have it handy. And make sure that this knee is still facing the ceiling. You don't want it to roll forward. Up. And coming back up, back into the twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we fold over other side. As far as you can, keeping both sit bones on the floor, keeping the seat facing So grab any part of your leg that you can reach. If you need the strap, you've got it there. Now, this next bit, we're gonna do our best to push forward. So put your right hand in front and your left hand in behind of your pelvis. You're gonna push up and do a little rotation. So this time your knee is allowed to come forward, but make sure that leg is active. So we're not quite going into a full split yet, but just finding a little space in that hip. Also, you can just push up and not find the rotation in. That's fine too. So you can come to here. Still gonna be good for your core and you're still gonna feel a stretch. But if you can, you're finding that little rotation of the back leg. We'll just do 2 more here. Last one here. And give the legs a little shake, bring them back to the front. We're gonna go for a split, but if you can't do a split, don't worry. So you're gonna bring your left foot forward to start. This time we're going into a bigger lunge. So you're gonna come forward into your lunge. You can have something on the floor like books or blocks to put your hands on, or you can put your hand on your front knee. Okay. And you're just gonna go as far as you can. And we're gonna rock back and forward. I like to keep my hands on my hips because they tend to wander out of alignment if I don't remind myself of where they are. So just doing a slight bow forward with a flat back to get a nice stretch down the back of the hamstring. And if you need a little extra padding under that back knee, that's fine. We're gonna find that hamstring stretch. You can stay here. This is perfect. Hold it as long as you need to. Or you can slide forward as far as you can to come into that split. So you can stay here, or if you want to grab your strap, you can try and lift your back foot, grab your strap. If having some strap issues, wrap it around your foot and pull it in. This is just an option. And we will let it release. If I can get my strap off my leg. And coming back. And just for a second, come to a child's pose. You can rock your hips a little side to side if you need to. We're going to come up into the other side. Finding that lunge, either up on your thigh like this. You can come here with your fingertips down, but we're gonna rock forward and back. I like to have my hands on my hips. And back. You can point your front foot when you come back for the hamstring stretch, but I definitely feel it more when I have my foot flexed. Again, really careful with this back knee. 2 more here. And we're gonna hold here. You can stay here. Or you can come down into your full split. If you're going for the next variation, I recommend using your strap. And you may be able to do some of these things on one side and not the other. You may also find that some days you can do it and some days you can't. Today for me is actually a pretty lucky day. I can get down decently far. It's not like this every day. And let that release. Careful of that back knee when you're straightening out. Pulling yourself back up. And finding little child's pose. And coming up to tabletop. We're just gonna tuck the toes. And this one is really not fun. You're gonna walk your hands back and you're gonna sit on your heels and you're gonna stretch out your plantar fascia. So try not to hold any tension in your shoulders, anything like that. And nice big deep breaths. Try not to pitch your shoulders forward to take the weight away. It kind of defeats the purpose of it, so make sure your shoulders are right over your hips. And you may notice this is painful. It's really important that you stretch out the fascia in the bottom of your feet and in your arches, because if it gets too tight or too brittle, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. So it's good to keep it stretched out. It's normal to have it kind of feel like there's a little bit of a pulling sensation in the bottoms of your feet. It might feel like when you pull apart cotton candy almost, it might kind of feel like that in your foot. That's normal. Just a couple more breaths here. And coming forward. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna curl your toes the other way. You might get that cotton candy sensation when you point your toes. And just tap the tops of your feet into the floor. That was really intense for me. I always avoid it. And we're gonna tuck the toes. Just walk the hands back to a forward fold. Again, bending your knees as much as you need to. And interlace the hands behind your back if you can. If you can't, you can just grab your elbows, opposite elbows. You can also just put your hands on your lower back. If you can, you'll interlace your fingers and stretch them up overhead. Whichever thumb that you have on the top, you're going to switch it so that your other thumb is on top, so that you're nice and even. If you were grabbing the elbows, also switch to grab with the opposite arm on top. Let your hands release. And if your legs aren't bent already, you're going to bend your knees. And roll it. Hope you feel better. I hope you feel stretched out. I certainly do. So we'll see you guys in the next video.